everybody, and good evening once again. Welcome to ESN, and we're here live for the AWSCO Snapdragon Continental Series as the Continental Series field lines up to take on the second to last race of the inaugural regular season, and race number 29 of 40. It's the Lady in Black Darlington Raceway in Darlington, South Carolina, one of the staples of stock car racing. Has been around for many years now, opened all the way back in 1950. Of course, the main event here is the Southern 500, the 500-mile race, which we'll see tomorrow in the Windows Cup Series. This is a track with plenty of history and lots of personality as well, being one of few asymmetrical pill-shaped ovals, giving it the characteristics of an egg-shaped oval, with its narrower radius, turns 3 and 4. It creates one of the biggest challenges in any stock car racing field. It is perhaps the most difficult oval for any driver to tackle in a given racing season, and with that, it's a challenge that almost any driver anticipates greatly. And with that, this might very well be one of the defining moments of both series seasons here. I'm Raja, once again here in the studio for the pre-race show. I'm joined today with Madison in the studio. Usual studio host Ellie is not available today, but with that, great to have you back in the studio after it's been a while since we've had you in the studio here. And what an event to come back to. It's this racetrack of all places. Darlington is one of the premier racetrack, I would say, in stock car racing. And it's such a unique place to come to. It's got lots of history, lots of character. It's a racetrack that many call too tough to tame, and it's definitely one that it's definitely shown that in its history.
It most definitely has. This is one of the most distinct tracks in certainly all of North American stock car racing, maybe even the world, with just how unique it is. Of course, you have one end of the track that's narrower than the other because of all the way back when it was built in the 1940s, this guy didn't want to give up his pond, so they had to make one end of the track narrower than the other. And of course, you add on the banking, which wasn't even originally intended to be driven on. It's just a crazy track, this. And looking at our weather, it's very normal weather today, 73 degrees, no wind. So it should make for a very interesting scene.
It's very nice out today, clear skies and not too warm out tonight. That'll certainly make for good racing weather. And you mentioned the turns. They are high banked for that very reason. 25 degrees in turns 1 and 2, and 23 degrees in 3 and 4. Obviously never really designed to be the racing surface at first, but one does not simply stop stock car drivers from racing in anything that's considered asphalt, really. Just ask anyone that's raced on a super speedway. Well, sometimes the lack of asphalt doesn't stop them.
Drivers, to your cars.
But yeah,
very much so, and you can see, yeah. Oh, I was just going to mention, you talked about drivers sort of bending the limits a little bit with just going pretty much anywhere they can, and I bet we'll see a lot of that tonight. We'll be seeing a lot of uncustomary driving, because in the past we've seen Darlington is a track where you really can't afford to be aggressive. It's a long-run track, and it's the sort of place where even if you go just side-by-side into turn 3, for instance, it could end disastrously. I don't imagine these AWSCO drivers will have that sort of level of restraint here tonight.
Yeah, one of the main characteristics, I think, of having a successful Darlington race is going to be creativity. Managing your car your way, basically, to suit the challenges of this racetrack. Just because of how unique it is, you can kind of make anything work in this track, really. It's not there's not one real conventional line, quote unquote. I guess you could stick to the outside line. That's probably the closest thing you have to a convention for driving at Darlington. But as the saying goes, as usual, most oftentimes you're going to mess up and get yourself a Darlington stripe at least one or two times in any given race, and that's another thing you'll have to look out for when it comes to long run racing. Obviously, you don't want to damage your car. You don't want to ding up your car too much. Damage repair is something that can cost you quite a bit, especially if we get green flag pit stops, which I think we'll expect at least one of those in both of the races we're gonna have at this racetrack this weekend.
I'd be surprised if we didn't. And touching on just keeping your car clean and trying to figure out your line, there really is a line, but it's a very weird one to anybody who hasn't been here before. You kind of stick to the outside and then you dip down to the bottom in 2 and then drift back up, but try not to hit the wall. And then you run near the top in 3 and 4 and then maybe drift out a little bit on the exit of 4. It really just doesn't make any sense unless you've driven and seen it a whole lot. But certainly Darlington stripes and maybe a little bit worse will be common tonight.
Yeah, and as you said, the unconventional nature of a conventional Darlington line is part of the reason why this racetrack is one known for bringing out the best in drivers. Being able to win at Darlington in general is considered a fairly high level achievement in any driver's career. And so with that, every one of these 38 drivers on the grid right now are going to be looking to bring home the win here in the Gatorade 300. Let's take a look at that starting lineup now. It's the 2 of Rachel Ramos and the 35 of Krista Anderson on the front row. Ramos has one win already this season, but it's been a while, I think, since we've seen that win. Let me double check where it is. So Ramos won last time at Phoenix, the flat 1 mile oval early on. Krista Anderson still doesn't have a win yet, sitting 90 points outside the playoffs as we speak, looking to get that win. Has had a few top 5s already, 4 top 5s and 6 top 10s this season. So definitely a driver that's looked fairly decent and has finished in the top 15 every time she's qualified in the last 5 races. Looking at the rest of the top 10, we have Maya Sheldaby and Lexi Rockwood, Izzy Oberman, Madison Estrada, Kate Summers, Mayumi Moriyama, Jackie Kennedy, and Robin Morales. Once again, seeing those 2 Project Horizon cars qualifying up front. Interesting to see those. Feel like PHR have been kind of an interesting team when it comes to irregularly shaped ovals. Lexi Rockwood especially has had the pace to contend in the last month or so, but hasn't really seen any results to show for that. Only 2 top 20s in the last 6 races she qualified for, and both of those were 19th place finishes. Robin Morales, winner at the Milwaukee Mile earlier this season, has seen a few better results. A couple top 5s and top 10s to show as well. We'll see what both of those cars do, and it's also good to see Maya Sheldaby in the qualifying up top. Haven't seen her run well for a while, but of course, when she first came into the series, she had an absolutely mega run to start her career off with 5 top 10s in her first 6 races. Hasn't had one since then. A best finish of 16th for the driver of the 5 car since. Anybody else in the grid catch your eye, Madison, looking at the rest of the field right now? Especially maybe our playoff battle, Moriyama and Kennedy both qualifying in the top 10, which is and right next to each other as well.
Yeah, I believe certainly Kennedy is 4 points below the cut line here, so starting 9th is a very good place to start here, but you want those positions, and being in that position, that means you get to pass more cars, you're still ahead of plenty, and I know this isn't necessarily instinctive, but you need to be smart, you need to make sense of things, and if you're fast enough to pass cars later in the run, do that. Take restarts to your advantage without being reckless. And if you're Kennedy right now, you just want a calculated, smooth approach to the race, but not being passive. Certainly not being passive. That will not get you into the playoffs.
Yep, and also look out for the second driver out of the playoffs, Abby Buchanan. She starts in 15th position inside of row 8. So all three of the playoff contenders, really the remaining playoff contenders, starting in the top 15. We'll see what that bodes for, how that bodes for them. But of course, you don't win a race on lap 1, but you don't really win a race on lap 1, and that's especially true at Darlington, where it's all about consistency. So we'll see what those cars have in terms of race pace, but good 1 lap pace at the very least for those 3 teams. looking at the rest of the field right
Definitely,
now.
and you did mention Buchanan just briefly.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to mention that a lot of our usual front runners in the points are starting out back. You can see Naomi Davenport starting on 25th place in the inside of row 13. Obviously, she's coming up. She's on what is probably the hottest form of any driver in both AWSCO series right now. One win, a second win at IRP, and the most top 10s of anybody in either AWSCO series as well, with 13, which is notably over half of the races that she's competed in. And then you see a lot of the drivers that are up front in points, starting at the back, most of them taking points provisionals, the 0, 7, 46, 95, 42, all those drivers taking points provisionals. Deborah Williams, who's second in drivers' points as well, just made it on time in 16th in her qualifying group, starting 32nd. So lots of question marks here over some of these drivers. You have a lot of drivers starting up front, who are starting up high in points that are starting up front. I should also mention the 62 of Vinnie Schultz is in that, just outside the top 10 in 11th place. But then you have a lot of drivers who are up high in points starting at the back as well. What do you make of that as well? Do you think some teams may have set up the cars to be more race pace centric than others?
Well, I certainly think so, and I think in as much as just qualifying goes, you have very different demands on just a one lap or short run versus dozens, maybe even hundreds of laps in the long run. So I think if you're up high in the points and you don't really have much at risk, I think it's wise to go for the long run and hope that you don't get into any trouble at the start and then just gradually work your way up. But for our 3 playoff contenders, which we have Moriyama 4 points up, Kennedy 4 points down, they're both in the top 10. Then Abby Buchanan some 21 points down, and I believe you mentioned 15th, having a lot more work to do. Certainly, if you're in that position, you want to start up further front and then hope that you can make good adjustments throughout the race. That is really important, and I think for them it's even more critical. But if you're one of those drivers higher up in points, it makes a lot of sense to go conservative and just see how it plays out, and if you get the win, great. And maybe just have a good points day if you can.
Yeah, I think if you're one of those 3 drivers, one of those 3 drivers fighting for the last point spot right now, well, you've just gotta pay attention to what the other 2 are doing right now. And that's seemingly what they've done. All 3 of them are qualifying fairly close to each other. We'll see if they have the same kind of race pace or not. But obviously there is a whole horde of drivers looking to get that win. And one of them starting on that front row, the 35 of Krista Anderson. So we'll just have to see what this race brings out, because there's lots at stake here. And if Darlington isn't one thing, if Darlington is one thing, it's often a box of surprises. So we'll just have to see what happens, especially early on in the race, I think. All right, Madison. Any final words?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. Any final words before we head it over to the booth now?
Well, I think we touched on some of the biggest points, the playoff battle, those drivers who are high in the points starting further back. We've talked about needing to be smart, needing to be conservative, needing to be intelligent on the long run, not being passive and letting opportunities slip away. And tires at Darlington, so important. Among all the tracks on the AWSCO circuit, this is one of the ones that will abuse the tires the most. It will destroy them after a certain length of time, and it is completely critical to just stay in it and conserve your tires while you can, and make sure that you have that crew chief up on the pit box get you the right strategy, because having the wrong tire strategy could destroy your race.
Yeah, that's definitely something that these teams are going to have to look out for. All right, with that, we'll wrap up our pre-race show here. I hope everyone enjoys the show that we'll be putting on here. The Gatorade 300 at Darlington's coming up soon. We'll take you to the booth now. All right.
And welcome to the Darlington Raceway here in Darlington, South Carolina. This 1.366 mile egg-shaped oval is one of the oldest tracks that we go to on the schedule. It's been around since 1950. and we're here to put on our first AWSCO show here from Darlington. I'm joined in the booth by Matthew. Matthew, what's up? How are you doing, and what do you expect from this race?
Not entirely sure what to expect really with how the championship playoff field is basically. Probably gonna expect quite a bit of aggression from especially the free drivers looking to make it in with the remaining spot, assuming we don't get a new winner. And seeing the top 5, especially, I'm surprised if there wouldn't be a new winner here. Basically, Mayumi Moriyama is in 8th, Jackie Kennedy in 9th, Abby Buchanan 15th, 21 points back from the 64 car. So I wouldn't be surprised if any of those drivers end up making an aggressive move early on in the race.
Yeah, and this is a track that really lends itself to those kinds of aggressive moves, but you got to be patient with your aggression here as well, because this is a really difficult track to maneuver, very difficult to maneuver your car around here, and it's very much a driver's track. You're going to see the drivers that are the best do good here. All right, let's go through our starting grid. Row 1, Rachel Ramos, winner back at Phoenix, alongside Krista Andresen. Row 2 is the 5 of Maya Shelby and the 78 of Lexi Rockwood. Row 3, the 93 of Izzy Oberman and the 88 of Madison Estrada. Row 4, the 8 of Kate Summers and the 64 of Mayumi Moriyama, one of those playoff cut-line cars. Row 5, Jackie Kennedy, another cut-line car alongside Robin Morales. Row 6, the 62 Vinny Schultz and the 25 of Kathy Ableton Perez. Row 7 is the 6 of Mila Tristina and the 45 of Liz Roberts. Row 8, the 59, Abby Buchanan and the 31 of Lori Ramirez. Row 9, the 15, Isabella Smith and the 38 of Isabella Fitzmaurice. Row 10, the 44, Lulu Kani and the 99 of Karina Willis-Callaway. Row 11, the 96 of Lynn Oswell and the 24 of Ashley Johnson. Row 12, the 04, Emily Tremblay-Vaudrey and the 77 of Rose Lockport. Row 13, the 22 of Naomi Davenport and the 16 of Leah Ezelhart. Row 14, the 54, Michaela Kirkland and the 82 of Zoe Quinton. Row 15, the 4, Cassidy Jones and the 60 of Jennifer Wilson. Row 16, the 81 of Alice Hageman and the 55 of Deborah Williams. Row 17, the 10, Charlie McCarran and the 0, Hideyoko, last week's winner in Richmond. Row 18, the 7, Reina Munoz and the 46 of Bridget Brousseau. And row 19, the 95, Carl Reynolds and the 42 of Freya von Lundquist. All right, so 2 races to go. You got 2 races till we get to the playoffs. Would you be at all surprised if we saw 2 new winners the next 2 weeks to maybe give us that 1-car expanded playoff field?
I honestly don't know. It depends on how these last 2 races go. As for my pick to win, I'm probably hoping these 3 drivers are hoping that a new driver doesn't win. I'm going Vinny Schultz, 11th place starter right now.
And Vinny, of course, won a couple weeks ago in Iowa. Kind of a surprise winner at Iowa, too. She didn't really show up until the very end of the race. I think that's one thing as well here is that this is going to be probably the best chance for those drivers to get that repeat winner, because Pensacola is a absolute can of worms. It is a pretty much a crapshoot for that final spot. If it comes down to Pensacola, I think that'll be something that a lot of these drivers are worried about, and this is also something that the Cup drivers will be watching too, considering that Cup also has its own little points battle going on right now as well. All right, well, we'll get the command in just a few minutes. In the meantime, what do you think the biggest key is going to be to this race for all these drivers trying to get there to the end and eventually towards that win?
Probably the biggest factor to get the race win is probably going to be strategy. We're going to have over 200 laps here, so I'm thinking at least 4 pit stops at most, so it's going to be interesting to see a lot of cautions as well to see what kind of strategies we'll see throughout the race.
Fuel window's about 70 laps, although they may pit a little beforehand just based on tire wear. We will see how it goes. Ramos and Andresen will lead them to the green flag. Here we go. We're racing in Darlington in the Gatorade 300. Ramos with a good jump. Andresen uses the outside lane to hang on to second. That's one thing you're going to see on those starts. The bottom lane is going to be better, but every other time you're going to see the top side be the better lane to run in here.
Yeah, especially top lane is very dominant in 3 and 4, especially there. As we see, I think that's the
Cars
78
there's some cars getting up on the wall, but that's pretty normal. Again, this is Darlington. You're going to see drivers get up in the wall a lot here.
Yeah, and especially there. 1 and 2 is going to be, especially going 3 wide there, that's going to be a treacherous place to go 3 wide at the exit of turn 2. We used to see quite a few wrecks there, and Moriyama scraping the outside wall there briefly in the 64.
Rachel Ramos holds the lead here at the opening stages. But turns 1 and 2 are the more difficult corners just because the turns 1 and 2 has the longer radius. So you're trying to carry more speed through that corner. But as well, in turns 1 and 2, you're trying not to compromise your exit, which is really hard to do here, because the corner kind of tightens up on exit. 3 and 4, it's a little easier to roll through just because it's tighter. But 1 and 2 is so hard to get set up for properly. Now we're seeing the field start to string out, which is about what we'll expect to see for a good chunk of this race. The field will probably be pretty strung out and mostly single file. Though some cars back here obviously getting spread out further wide. One big thing that will make up a bunch here as well is tire wear, tire difference. Just because the tire wear here is quite strong. This is one of the most heavy tire wear tracks that we go to at all.
I think some of these drivers will be thinking this in the back of their head. Don't scrape the wall too hard. Don't try and overdrive it into turn 1 there. See that quite a bit, and lift.
Ooh, Rockwood.
And yeah, Rockwood scraping the wall there. Trying
There's another
to
car in the
allow
back, that's
Matt
Roberts.
Strama almost got by. As a matter of fact, she did get by briefly, and the 78's in the wall again.
I actually think she just barely avoided the wall. Not sure how, but I'm pretty sure she didn't actually hit the wall there. You're going to see cars
Basically
get into the wall a lot here. That's just kind of how it is. Liz Roberts was in the wall earlier. That allowed both Vinnie Schultz and Kate Summers to get by her to get those two into the top 10. That's how you're probably going to see quite a few cars make passes. You know, the deeper into the field you go, cars are just not going to have the right setup on them. So they'll be making passes just based on who's not in the wall, who's not in the fence.
Yeah, that could basically be a factor there. What I was trying to say was the teams are hoping that the drivers don't scrape the wall too much, or else that could probably cost them a couple of seconds basically on pit stops there, and that could really shake up the field there.
Oh yeah, damage repair is going to be very key. Meanwhile, 4 cars kind of under a blanket here towards the front of the field. Rachel Ramos still leading, but there is all 3 cars behind her are within a second of her right now. Anderson, Estrada, and Rockwood all pressuring. Got Maya Shelby in 5th, just a little bit further back. Holding up Izzy Overin, Maimi Moriyama, Morales, Schultz, and Summers. Now, Ramos already has a win. So if you're Moriyama, this is something you want. You want to see this 2 leading this race and getting points. You know, Alexi Rockwood trying to get up to the outside on Madison Estrada, and she will do so. Going to try and take 3rd spot away. And looks like Rockwood will grab that spot, so Rockwood back up to 3rd after losing it a little bit earlier. And Estrada now kind of getting freight trained. She's stuck on the bottom lane, which is not something you usually hear about getting freight trained on the bottom, but that's what's happening to Estrada right now.
I'm kind of surprised the 78 of Rockwood managed to pass her on the top side, holding the top side in turns 1 and 2. You don't usually see that happen at a track like Darlington.
Well, that's the thing we've been seeing in practice, especially. The top lane just is better. It just has a little more grip up there. They can take advantage. I think another thing that I'm a little surprised, you know, Lexi Rockwood, she did get into the wall earlier, so she's got at least a little bit of right side damage, but doesn't seem to be affecting her too worse for wear. Obviously, for Madison Estrada, big story coming out of this week is that she's not going to be in this 88 car after Pensacola. Although I imagine that would probably change if she won one of the next 2 races. But Estrada's out of this car after Pensacola, so she's trying to look to make an impression here for maybe some teams that might want to take her in.
Or perhaps a new team looking to join. Hint, hint.
True.
Well,
That's also a good
anyways,
point. Ooh, Shelby.
Yeah, and then Shelby in the wall there, starting in 3rd position. Not sure how that happened. However, that means Oberham's now up to 4th position there. Oberham already has 3 wins on the year, looking for her 4th win on the season.
Yeah, and last time she won was when you were in the booth at South Boston.
Oh, and now she's in the wall as well.
And she's got good clearance from the rest of the field here, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, you got that. Basically, everyone from 7th to, what is that, 12th is under a blanket there, led by Yoriyama, and the 12th
Of Jackie Kennedy.
Kennedy's in this pack as well. Only 4 points separate the 64 and the 12, by the way.
Yeah,
So,
coming into this race, only 4 points separate them, and the 64 is ahead right now, so that's an additional 2 points between them.
so essentially, the last playoff spot, assuming no one new wins, is starting to heat up quite a bit there. And Kennedy now has the 8 of Kate Summers to try and pass to maybe catch up to 64.
Here comes Lexi Rockwood for 2nd. She's trying the bottom side on Krista Anderson. I'm not sure that's going to work. But that 78 looks very fast right now.
Okay, doesn't look like it's going to work now, but she might have a chance going into turn 1. And just as I say, Kennedy's going to pass the 8 there.
Nope.
Or at least attempt to. Doesn't look like she has to run yet. Have to be careful there to try and avoid letting the 26 pass.
Oh, Morales got up in the wall on an exit of 4. Lexi Rockwood still pressuring the 35. Looking to her inside again, but still not quite able to make the move. I think if the 78's gonna make this stick, she's gonna have to go to the top side. But the 93 and 88 are both closing in on her now.
This is basically music to Rachel Ramos' ears right now. The battle for second is basically between 4 cars now, and looks like the 12 did get by Kate Summers, so chasing the 64. However, 64 is chasing the 5 of Scalbady for
Sheldeby.
Sheldeby for the 6th position in that number 5. So we'll have to get back to that a bit later, but here comes the 78 for another round past Anderson.
Looking, not going to be able to make it stick though, and that might allow Izzy Oberman to get to the 78s outside here. Abby Buchanan, the other driver in that playoff battle, she's kind of a little further back from everybody else, but she's still in the battle. Buchanan came in 21 points behind the 64. Right now she's sitting in 14th spot. That did not change. So if you're Abby Buchanan, you're just kind of... I think everybody right now is just kind of trying to run laps, trying to get this race going as much as they can. Just because this... Well... You're just running laps at this point. You don't want to have it be too difficult on you, as we see Kennedy looking to the inside on Moriyama. As Roberts in the wall behind him. Benny Schultz will take advantage of that and take the spot there. See Lexi Rockwood looking underneath Anderson, but that's not going to stick.
Almost go let the 93 of Oberham.
It will let
pass
Oberman
for
through.
third.
And Estrada.
Even Estrada in the E8 looking for 4th position. However, that's going to be a bit easier said than done on the top lane in 1 and 2.
Ooh,
But
I think
yeah,
she'll get it.
Oberham now in the 3rd position, looking to chase down Anderson in the 35. And Rachel Ramos already has a 1.6 second lead, so gotta take a lot for the 93 to catch up.
Summers bringing the battle back to Kennedy. The 8 car wants this spot back. It looks like she's not going to get it. I heard somebody in the wall somewhere, but I don't know where.
Well, there's still caution free, 27 now 28 laps in. And Kate Summers tried to make a pass on Jack and Kennedy there. Kennedy's still looking to try and get by Moriyama. 4 points going into this race. However, almost allowing and more cars in the wall back there.
I thought the 6 was going to bounce into the 38 of Isabella Fitzmaurice. You see, Estrada's gotten by Izzy Oberman, but Oberman's fighting back on the high side. Fighting for 3rd right here. The more these cars battle, the more that Rachel Ramos is going to enjoy that. Lexi Rockwood just taps the wall. Sheldeby in the wall again. You're seeing a lot of cars already have a Darlington stripe. I mean, the 93 is one of them. She's got a pretty solid gash on the right side of her car. They sell donuts here at Darlington.
The Furry 5 looks like she has one as well.
She may have one. Well, if that 93 can get by the 35, that would be our greatest litmus test to see if she could get to the 2 car. Because I'm not sure the 2 is particularly the fastest car right now. I'm not very convinced that the 2 is the fastest car. I mean, she's fast. She's been able to hold the lead, but kind of seeing a few cars here charging up through the pack.
If the 93 wants to get past, she'll need to do it heading into turn 1, basically. Starve turn 1. And then maybe we'll see the true speed of this 93. Keep in mind, we still have about 190 laps to go, so anything could change, really.
I think the 2 might have clipped the wall a little bit, but the 93 of Izzy Oberman is really just kind of trying to outlast the 35 right now. See, Jackie Kennedy's actually lost a spot here to Vinny Schultz in the 62. Although
Yeah,
she's
and it
trying to
looks like
fight back on
Schultz-
the top side.
Schultz is looking to get by the 64 as well.
93 is still on the 35, but not exactly doing much yet. And again, the 35 kind of keeps losing time, and the 93 is just not getting by.
As
Kennedy
we see,
and Schultz continue to battle. 12 car gets back by for 8th.
the more they keep battling there, the longer it would take to potentially get by the 64. But saying that, Kennedy looks like she's on the back bumper again, but I'm not sure. She's trying to high lane there.
Trying
to
the high lane. Maybe
take
she
the
might
seventh
try
position.
the crossover on exit here. No,
Not sure if
not close enough. We're seeing Lexi Rockwood's now closed back up to this second place battle. See, Abby Buchanan apparently came down pit road. Looks like she had a decent bit of damage that she felt was too much. Now we're gonna start seeing that just because of how the fuel window cycles here. 59 now has fresh tires, is the thing. So she's going to look a lot faster than pretty much everybody else right now. And that's going to be
could be
really
another-
annoying.
That could be another thing to note. 59, although she might have a disadvantage in the short term, long term, it could be pretty impactful there. She's only 21 points behind the 64 and 17 behind the number 12. Who knows? The 2 has a 3-second lead that last lap.
I think
So
Anderson is really slowing up. That's kind of what's helping Ramos with this lead. But Anderson very clearly, I think, has a short run car. There's Isabella Fitzmaurice moving up through. She's up into 12th, maybe battling for 11th fairly soon.
Oh, scraping the wall there. Don't want to do that. There's at least 10 cars, 12 even, behind.
It's kind of getting real mixed up. You get to about 8th place, and it just kind of starts going everywhere. 7th place.
Oh yeah,
8th place.
Speaking of 12, Kennedy got by Moriyama. Missed that.
Kennedy
And
is
now-
by, so she's actually up into 7th, and Moriyama's dropped back all the way to 10th.
Might even be 6 if she gets by Scalby in the 5.
See, Oberman looked to the inside on Anderson, not able to make that move work though. Trying to clear to the trying to cut off the outside lane, but Rockwood is still there.
And this battle is still in the favor of Ramos.
Absolutely.
Not sure once gonna be.
Kennedy
It's
is now.
almost 3.25 seconds. Wow, 3.7.
Ramos is really getting away. But we'll see if that holds up. I'm fairly sure there are cars faster than her that are further back in the field. They just have not been able to make it stick because the 35 just is not easy to get. They just can't get by that 35. Anderson's really defending quite a bit.
Yeah, it might be a thing there. The 5 as well. Galeby held up the 12 there. And Liz Roberts now got by the 12 and Vinny Scholes. So now it's only a 1-car buffer between herself and the 64. And now the 45 is finally trying to
64
get
is
by
past
for
the
sixth
12.
position.
64 is ahead of the 12 again.
And battle for 6 is going to heat up pretty soon. As Vinny Scholes trying the top lane there for the 7th position.
She's got it.
Question is for how long? And how long can that 93 stay behind the 35 of Anderson there?
It's looking like the top lane is better in both corners, which is really kind of affecting a lot of these cars. Overman looks to the outside now. She's trying, I think she's trying to pull that crossover. Serena Munoz has pulled down pit road. The 7
Might
car.
be another car.
That's that I believe is another damage stop.
Yeah, another car there, affected by scraping the wall too many times there. I'm surprised no one in that middle group there hasn't pit yet.
In fairness, Buchanan kind of counts as being part of that middle group. Well, she was in that middle group until she came in. Munoz was well towards the back, though. So she doesn't really have much to lose. Orman trying to hold Lexi Rockwood behind her, but she can't do it very much longer. Rockwood to the outside. And that's a change for third as Lexi Rockwood in the 78 now takes the position away.
I wonder if the 2's using up her stuff or what, because the 35 is slightly gaining on her.
That's another thing here. You've got to take care of your equipment. Madison, what's up on the 59 of Buchanan?
Well, it's been a little bit, but I have got word from crew chief, and of course you remember going into this race, they're 21 points below the cut line, and now they should be considerably lower than that. And of course Buchanan did come in, just smacked the wall really hard a couple times down in turn 1, and crew chief told her take it easy into turn 1 particularly. We know it's hard to maintain speed without hitting the wall, but you really need to do it. We're in a tough situation, and this really could wreck the 59's race, because unless you get a well-timed caution with the expected pit windows, this could really just destroy the strategy for the 59 team.
And as Madison was talking about that, Lexi Rockwood took second, but now she's coming to pit road.
Oh.
I see a lot of cars coming down pit road, though.
I wonder if this is scheduled pit stops or more damage stops.
04 is in.
There was at least maybe 7 cars going down pit road that
There's
time.
a fair few cars on pit road. 96 is in as well. This could be scheduled. I would not be surprised if it is.
doesn't look like any of the front runners are coming in besides the 78. Not sure if that was repair damage or what. Oh, I think
Oh,
she's
59.
still stuck on pit road.
I think she just got into her pit stall. 59 is coming back in. Meanwhile, now we're starting to see some cars that just came off pit road. Okay, no, the 78 did have a really long stop, 30.22. So clearly some sort of damage repair going on there, but...
Okay, now we'll need to see... Balfour, what is now 5th, is looking to try and heat up quite a bit. And Balfour 2nd there, Overton desperately trying to get by the 35, as Ramos now has almost a 5-second lead.
Over
there.
5 seconds.
It went down from 5.4 to 5.2. Not sure if that's worn tires or what.
Well, now you're going to see the magic of new tires on this 78 car. Madison?
More problems for the 59 team of Abby Buchanan, as you saw coming down pit road again, and the damage repairs that they did were just not suitable enough. They had your tire go down with quarter panel all smashed in. They just did not get it far out enough. There was a tire rub, and that developed into a puncture, and they've come back down pit road. Now they're several laps down, and if they weren't already banished from a good position to begin with, they certainly are now.
Well, the battle for 2nd is gonna try and heat up. Or at least I thought it was. The 78 Rockwood on the newer tires. Getting by both Overton and now Anderson there. And the 2 of Ramos has lost some of her lead, at least. It was in the 5-second bracket, was around 4.9 seconds last time by.
Yeah. Starting to lose a little bit, and again, the 35 gained even more time that last time.
I'm starting to think now would be the time to
Come down pit road.
try and see. You said 70 laps would be the fuel cycle, but they
70
might
laps is
have
as
to
long as
pit.
you can go fuel-wise. I'm not sure you want to go that long on tires.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the 2 would want to come down pit road ASAP, basically.
81,
as we
90.
see.
I saw the 99 was in. 81 is coming down pit road as well. 78 has already blown right by the 2. 93 is pitting.
Is slowed there. Here comes the 93, and I'm not sure. The 12 got by the 5 for the 5th place. Only
12
to
is
come
pitting.
down pit road as well. So now pit strategy might be starting here. We'll need to see if the 2 comes down.
2 staying out still.
Looks like 35 and 88 are staying out.
Yep, they're still out here.
Vinny Scholes. Scholes looked like she was coming down, but isn't.
Ooh, fight for 2nd. Estrada trying to get by Anderson, and I believe she'll do it. Yes, she will.
Okay. Point Slayer Yoka coming down the pit road as well as
Yep,
quite a few
Yoko.
others.
Shelby, I believe, is
And
pitting.
now the 5's coming in.
5 cars in. 35
Okay,
really
now-
slow.
Now that the Furry 5 is no longer holding up, the of Estrada And with fresher tires, would now be the time for them to catch up? Or is the 2 coming down?
2 is still out there.
You would think she would hit soon.
Jennifer Wilson, 60 cars in.
Still staying out there.
2 is
How
still,
about
yeah, she's still
the-
on track.
How about E8, 35?
80 and 35 are still out.
Kate
62
Stummers
and
looks
8
like.
are still out here. 45, 64, 6, 24, 38. That's the top 10 right now. I mean, at worst, these cars will all go to the fuel window.
Now, if they do go to the field window, I wouldn't be surprised if the 93 would be the new leader.
I wouldn't either. 93 or the 78. It depends on which one is ahead. Actually, the 78 is ahead of the 93 in terms of on-track scoring. Jeez, look at Lexi Rockwood go by everybody there.
Wow. 3 wide there.
She was on the apron and blowing by all those cars. That's what new tires will do for you.
And I think the 5's also on new tires there. So,
Yes, she is.
oh man.
The 46 of
This is
Rousseau's
gonna get...
fitting.
It's moments like this where things are about to get a bit sketchy. You have the newer tires and older tires. If a caution were to come out, it'd probably be around now.
Probably. I wouldn't. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Lexi Rockwood potentially even unlap herself on speed just because of her tire advantage. I mean, they've lost what, 4 seconds on tires now. And check out what Lexi Rockwood is running. She's hung up in traffic here, but she's still 2 seconds faster than the leader right now.
Okay.
Now more
Top
cars
3
that
are
have
still staying out.
more cars that are still on fresh tires are kind of going past the leader right now. Seeing the 96
Yep, there goes
of Lynn Oswell.
96 of Oswell.
35 is coming in.
All 35's coming in. And
This is kind of our last wave
looks
here.
like the 24 is coming in as well.
Johnson. Now, pitting early nets you the advantage in the short term. So for Lexi Rockwood, she has that short-term advantage right now. However, with Ramos staying out this long, that's going to net her the long-term advantage.
Yeah, I think Ramos might be going to the fuel window there.
I believe she is. I don't see anything else that she'd be doing here. Like Estrada maybe coming in? No.
No.
I may be
What about
I may be dumb.
Kate Summers, Vinny Scholes?
Nope, they're all staying out here still.
Okay, what about Liz Roberts in the 45?
She's still out there. Madison.
So, on the 82, had a tire going down, and apparently it was a slow leak on the left front. Nothing to do with damage necessarily. It was just a tire that was slowly losing air, and then it finally got low enough to where they had to take it in. Unfortunate for the team, but not quite the same level of misfortune as the 59.
For Zoe Quinton, that's while it's tough for her, it's not the end of the world. She's already in the playoffs with the win earlier in the season at 5 flags, so Ramos is coming in. Two cars coming down. So Madison Estrada will now usurp the lead.
Okay, where does the 78 come out in?
There's where the 78 is.
There's the
78
88.
is actually behind the... Oh, no, the 35 is a lap behind the 78. So now the 78 has just unlapped herself.
The 88 staying out until lap 72.
At the least. From what I'm judging here, it looks like the maximum they can go on fuel is about 78, which is... That would be the, like, real stretch is 78, but... I think it would be not particularly wise to do that. Here comes Estrada in.
There goes Estrada.
Estrada's in. Pretty much everybody has now come in right now, so... Now, as it cycles up, I believe this is the car that has cycled to the lead, the 78 of Lexi Rocket, although I will have to double check this.
Yeah, we'll need to see where the 2 of Rachel Ramos is right now. Oh, there she... I think that's her right there. Yeah, it is.
Where? Where's the 2 car? Oh, there she is.
Rachel Ramos is right there.
Between the 26 and the 95 right now. So what? Where'd she cycle? So the leader right now is actually the 04 of Tremblay-Vaudreuil, who I don't believe has pitted yet. Has she pitted yet? No, she definitely has. Okay, the 04, I guess.
Wow.
Jumped everybody on pit road, although...
Well, that was unexpected there.
I'm not sure how she got up here. Oh. She's not going to have that for very long, though.
And looking like I see 50. We have a few new players there. Isabel Smith in 3rd. Alice Hageman
She's dropped
in
way back,
4th.
though. I think the 15 just came down pit road. She's coming off pit road right now.
Not sure if this is based off of if they're saying that or not, but the E1 of Hageman is now in 3rd place.
I believe everybody's cycled through.
Rainier Munoz is in
6th.
Zoe Quinton 7th. And like you said, 96 Lynn Oswell in 9th now. As the 2 gets fired.
So I can find where the 04's stop was. Oh, she was way early, lap 48. Okay, that would explain it.
And the 04...
Yeah, she came in even before the 78. That's why she's losing time.
Railing in the 04 there.
Can I find...
Almost,
okay, there we go.
Almost a full second, in fact.
So, we've cycled through this. So, we've cycled through. Emily Tremblay-Vaudreuil leads the way here at Darlington. As we're 78 laps through. Well, 77 laps complete. Lexi Rockwood trying to chase her down. Izzy Oberman is up to 3rd now. Jackie Kennedy is 4th. Alice Hageman is 5th. Zoe Quinn 6th. Reina Munoz 7th. Rachel Ramos is 8th. Lynn Oswell is 9th. And Madison Estrada is 10th. That's how it stands right now.
Notably, Miyumi Yoriyama is a lap down by the looks of it.
Yep, she is in fact 1 lap down right now.
That would
That's
be
pretty big.
huge for the 12 there. However, I don't think either the 04 or the 78 have won yet, so that could be a bit of an upset there.
That is correct. The 04 and 78 do not have wins.
And the 93 of
Overman has 3 wins.
she's 9 seconds back.
She is starting to catch, though. But now we're seeing the 04s kind of getting shuffled up here.
And the 12, who is 4 points back of the 64, is not too far back either.
Yeah, Kennedy's right there on Oberman, actually. The 12 is literally right next to her, pretty much. Lexi Rockwood has been reeling in the 04. She's still getting passed by several cars, though, but, well, it's kind of come to be, that's kind of what we're expecting. But we've been green all 81 laps so far here from Darlington.
Yeah, kudos to the drivers for keeping it clean for this long there. As we see the 12 of Kennedy looking for 3rd place, looking to try and use Oberham or the lap car to use as a pick to get by Oberham, rather. And the 78's not in the clear either because she has Karina Calloway right behind her, as well as at least 3 others, including points leader Hideki Yodo.
Yoko. Yoko's back there. All these cars are a lap down. However, interesting to note, there isn't a single car more than 1 lap down right now. So, well-timed caution might help things out a little bit for some of these lappers. But obviously right now we have not seen a yellow flag in this race, so it would be a bit surprising to see a caution kind of play things up. Oh, car blowing up. It's Reina Munoz in the 7 car. She was in the top 10. She will not be in the top 10 any longer. In fact, she will probably be the first DNF of the race.
Now she'll need to be careful if she comes to a stop in the middle of the backstray loop, for instance. That may cause a caution there, like you were saying.
Oh, and the 64! Moriyama!
Wow.
That's big.
Wow. 2 cars blowing up in almost the space of a lap there.
And will she make it back, or will that bring out a yellow?
No, she's not. She's got to stop in before
the
turn
apron.
1.
Does not look like it brought out a yellow flag.
Yeah, we're still green.
We're still green.
That's gonna be huge there. And 93 and the 12 seem to have fresher tires than even the 78 and the 04 bait, definitely.
Yes, they do.
Oberham got by some of the lap cars there and now trying to catch up to the 78 of Rockwell.
the thing is, now Rockwood's getting shuffled. Rockwood's getting shuffled to the outside lane by all these cars with fresh tires. So that's helping the 04 keep the lead here a little bit. Madison?
78 has...
Consecutive engine failures here from the 7 and the 64s you just saw. With the 7, it was an oil leak, and I'm not sure if they can fix it. The crew chief seems very ambivalent about that, but it doesn't look great. For the 64, completely different issue, though. One of the piston heads went out, and it was piston number 5 that pretty much just exploded on them, and they're lucky to even make it back to the pits, but they are most certainly done, and I've just received word. The 7 is out of the race. The 7 is out.
Whoa! Maya Shelby! Oh my
my
gosh, she
God.
saved it.
What a save!
Great save by Shelby there. Gosh,
Oh,
I
man,
thought that was going to be our first caution.
Oh. Wow. See some of the aggression there in the middle stages of this race.
They're trying to get everything kind of made up wherever they can. Now the 78's clear of these lap cars. So now she has a chance to start making time back up on this 04.
And those lap cars in between her and the 04 are now catching up.
Yeah,
Laurie Ramirez
they're gonna.
was the first one to.
They're all gonna pass the 04 is the thing.
Yeah, they have newer tires in the 04. Ramirez is the first one to get by. Same with Yoko, the Zero Machine. And
Roberts got through as well.
45 of Roberts. Next car up is Callaway. Then is
Shelby.
Skelby. And 78's the next car.
Yep. Just two cars.
And not only that, the 93 is catching up really quick.
Oh wow, you're right, she is. She's only 3 seconds back now. I just noticed that. But she is closing in very, very quickly, not only on her, but also on the 78. I'm not even sure Rockwood's going to end up leading the lap.
She still has the 44 of Luna Kani right behind her as well.
Alright, well.
Oh, and
Never
just
mind,
as I
she's in
say
the
that
wall.
there, the 93's in the wall.
Oh, it got into the 22 of
Contact with
Davenport.
Davenport. Saves it.
Bounced off the inside wall, but didn't lose it.
We almost had another caution at the end of turn 2.
Yeah, before long, that's just going to be the caution, probably.
Wow. Oh, man. Things are about to get intense now. Isabella Smith, Luna Kani, and others catching up to the 04 car of ETV.
Charlie McCarran just squeezing her way through the middle there on between the 78 and the outside wall. Yeah, I think now is when we might see, with all these cars having different states of tire wear, now is gonna be when we're gonna see, well, everybody kind of just go all over the place.
And this is gonna be very close there. Here comes Kani, here comes Smith, and also
Fight for
Davenport
third.
got by.
Hageman was looking
There.
on Overman.
Yep. Wow. Looks like the A1 was finally able to get by that lap car kerfuffle, or they pass them rather.
She's trying to
And-
fight with. She's now trying to hold off the 12, so kind of everywhere for her. Meanwhile, here comes Izzy Oberman. She's
Looking
closed
to
up to
try and get
Rockwood.
by 78s into
No.
turn 1. Not gonna be successful this time by. However, now the 04 is a bit more vulnerable there. Hopefully the 78 hasn't used up her tires too much by that point. However, the free cars behind her have way fresher tires.
Well, yeah, I think Rockwood's kind of screwed here. I mean, Rockwood's still
Oh,
gaining, but I
here
don't think
comes-
Rockwood is gaining enough.
Here comes Rachel Ramos.
Oh, yeah, here's the 2.
This is where the fresher tires are going to kick in.
Hageman up high. Seeing the 81 try to use the high groove here in turns 3 and 4. And they still nobody can get past the 78 right now. Oh, there's spins to the back. It's Connie and
that's a
McCarran. Caution is out.
I knew it was eventually gonna happen. It was the third strike, and they're out. 2 cars spinning down the back straightaway.
Looks like the 55. Looks like the 95 will be the free pass car. Just barely. It was really close. Those two were side by side at the start finish line.
Wow. And that's gonna basically throw strategy right out the window.
All right.
Now
well,
they're gonna have equal tires there.
all right. Well, kind of reshuffles everybody. The question to me now, how many cars are going to stay out and try and take that wave around? I don't think a lot of them will, but I can't imagine that nobody will. Although, I guess in fairness, it's been about, what, 20 laps even for the cars on the freshest tires, so I'm not sure.
30 laps.
Yeah,
Well,
about...
anyways, we'll need to see.
We'll see what
who
happens,
the
but...
first car coming off of pit road would be. Looks
it
like
looks
it's
like
the
it's going to be the 78. 81, 2,
78, 81,
88.
2,
and the 8.
and 04 falling way back there. I think the 16's now inside the top 10.
Yes, she is. How about Zoe Quinton, by the way? She got real lucky with the caution. Remember, she had to pit because she had a tire down. Pit a little off cycle. She's actually gotten back up here. Oh, car blowing up. That's the 24 of Ashley Johnson. Well, it took us 100 laps to get our first caution, but we did get that drama. Now let's see if we can figure out what happens here to bring out the first caution of the day on lap 101. So Lucani and Charlie McCarran. Oh, Karina got...
The 99 got in the wall.
99 got on the
of
wall.
Callaway.
Kind of hooked the 15.
Callaway got on the wall, got into Smith, got into Connie, and then Smith bounced off the wall into the 10 of McCarran.
Yep. Actually, nobody's too badly damaged from that, though. Man, I have what, 2 nickels now for every time that Karina and Connie have gotten into each other and caused a wreck this year. And all looking great for their marriage. Madison.
Right, so a couple things. First, the pit stop outlook. So with this, we have, a little bit less than halfway through the race. So the question is from here, do you pit just once more, try and stretch things out and make tire wear go really long? Or do you pit twice and have fresher tires on more occasions, even if you lose more time in the pits? That'll be interesting, but a more pressing issue for the 24 team is that their engine has just blown up. As it turns out, piece of debris got lodged in the carburetor, and that is what caused their engine to just completely die out on them. You saw the smoke coming out from behind, and they are done for the day.
Well, in terms of strategy, I wouldn't be surprised if some people try a two-stop strategy there. We still have 115 laps or so, so maybe if they split around 60-something laps, I could see it happen. But then again, strategy is going to be around 70 laps. So some people are going to try and stretch it to the end of the race.
All right. Well, pace car is off. We're going to get back to green flag racing right now. Equal tires for everybody. Green flag. Here we go. We're back to racing. Rockwood's holding on to it for now, but Hagman's pressuring her. Then you got Ramos, Estrada, Summers, all right there. And now here's where the fan out begins. Summers up to the high side on Estrada in turn number 4.
And that's going to allow both the 78 of Rockwood and the 81 of Alice Hagman to try and get away there. Ramos and Kate Summers are together there. And looks like Estrada's going to settle into 5th for the moment. Goes a bit wider. That's going to try and allow the 16 of Azelhart to try and peak there for the 4th, 6th position, rather. And
Ooh, Ramos is in the wall.
Oh, Ramos in the wall.
Oh, got into the 16. Azelhart's around.
Azelhart's around.
Caution is out. McCarron's losing it in the back.
McCarron
Oh,
again.
Chestina
My
got
goodness.
backed
Inside
into the
16.
16.
Wow. That was quick.
What happened there? What on
Oh.
earth?
And then the dominant car of the first stint. And that's gonna throw strategy off the window again.
Looks like Deborah Williams in the 55 should be the free pass. Well,
Wow.
our first stint took us 100 laps. This one took us about 3. And that just kind of shows you how Darlington is. So we're about to take the halfway point on this lap. Well,
Now we'll see what happened to the 16th Hazelhart.
Hazelhart got
Okay,
spun
there goes
around.
Ramos. Azelhart ran into Ramos there, and then back there, wow, look at that. It was McCarran got ran over by the 6th car of Destina.
I think McCarran gets into the wall separately, backs into Chistina, and
I
not
don't even know.
I'm not sure what even happens to the 10 car here. Like, why did she get all... Oh, she was in the wall. She was in the wall pretty well before that.
Yeah. And
Oh,
I guess
just kind of
because
bounced and lost it, and she would have... I think she would have had it saved if the 6 wasn't there.
Yeah.
That's just...
McCarran got bounced off into a wall by Lockport in the 77 by the looks of it.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that's just... For Chistina and Azelhart, that's just extremely, extremely unfortunate timing. Like, that would not have ended so poorly for both of them if neither one of them was at that spot at that time. Well, I guess they say cautions breed cautions. Nobody will get waved around here. Aside from the 55, who was the free pass car, so. A couple more cars out of the race from that. Just the 6 and the 16 of Chistina and Azelhart. Lights are out on the pace car, so we will be going back green. Still 25 cars on the lead lap, which I'd say is actually pretty impressive considering that we spent a whole, almost an entire half of this race straight under green.
You also gotta note some of the new drivers inside the top 10. Fitzmaurice, Ramirez, and also the 54 of, well, Michaela Kirkland is now up to the 7th position there.
And as it's looking, Kennedy, Buchanan, and Moriyama are all very much looking like they are gonna have to be chasing the win next week or a points lead position.
Basically, none of the top half is on win. As we go to a green flag, see if the 78 still has the advantage going into turn 1. Looks like she will.
There's only in the top 7, only one driver has a win, and that's the 38 of Fitzmaurice.
So for the sake of the 12, hoping that the 38 rather gets by these top 4 quick enough.
Or I think I feared the 12 now. What the 12 is kind of doing here, she's just kind of hoping she does it herself. As we see, Summers was in the wall, Estrada was in the wall. Everybody was getting messed around in the wall there.
And once again, like the last restart, the top 2 are out of there. And further back is going to be
Ooh,
Quentin Summers now the leader there. Quentin riding the wall there with Overland.
And she's spinning!
This is going to be big.
Oh, big caution!
Oh, huge wreck. Quentin upside down.
Rachel Ramos, Brousseau, Overman, Reynolds.
Ramos, the dominant car of the first end, and at least 8 or 9 cars absolutely totaled in the back straightaway.
Shelby with big damage. Lockport's in it. And Lockport's just running into the
Oh,
pit wall.
Lockport in the
Yoko,
pit lane.
Rachel Ramos,
Lockport
who
in the
led a
pit
good
barrel.
chunk of the early race. Zoe Quinton.
How is he E2 still driving? Man, Ducky,
very carefully.
Yoko. And once again, pit strategy in limbo there. Looks like Kate Summers coming down the pit lane along with Estrada, Vinny Scholes, and believe that was... Who's that yellow car there? Is that the 60 of Wilson?
Which one? Hang on, where is it? Oh yeah, that is Wilson. Yeah.
So
Ableton
that
Perez in the
might be
25 car.
interesting there. Assuming we have no more cautions, which I don't know. Considering how the last two restarts ended, I probably wouldn't bet on it.
Yeah, they seem to have forgotten how to restart in the. You know, they remembered how in the. They remembered how on the start of the race, and now they've just kind of forgotten. Well, go back and check what all happened there. It was Madison Estrada. I think it wasn't at the 88.
Okay, Summers and Estrada rode the wall there, and
Estrada
bounced off into.
Oh wait, we're on the wrong lap
That was the
here.
next lap.
Okay, here we go. This is the correct lap. I believe it was the 93.
Okay, watch the. No, it was
93 and
Quentin.
82, yeah.
Quentin slows down into the 93. They both spin out. And how did Vinny Scholes miss that there? I don't know, but Yoko hit square into the passenger side, luckily.
Quentin
of
gets
the
just kind of
A2,
bounced
and-
around. Quentin just was sliding in the middle of the track in front of everybody, and
Wow.
geez,
Look at
Deborah
that.
Williams.
Callaway involved there as well. While off hard hits there.
Yeah, that was How about Naomi Davenport is in 10th?
And I assume that's going to take a lot more cars out of their race now.
Yeah, a fair few more cars are done. Yoko's out, Lockport, Brousseau, Quinton, Reynolds, Ramos, Shelby. They're all done.
Wynn apparently retired from a tire issue.
I think she has a little more wrong with that car than just a tire.
Yeah. So that's basically 28th on back.
Well, hopefully we'll continue our streak from last week, where the mid-race report, from the last couple weeks, where the mid-race report has been a reprieve from the cautions. We're going to take you to Rasha and Madison in the FanDuel Fan Studio for our mid-race reports, and hopefully we'll get a reprieve from all the goofiness that's been going on. You two, what do you got?
Yeah, well,
A lot.
yeah. Welcome back. It's been we've had a few cautions already as we're about to restart here. It's still Lexi Rockwood, who's maintained the lead since this flurry of cautions. Looking to try to get another good jump here. We'll see what she does. Entering the restart zone. Here we go. Back underway at Darlington. And another good jump, yeah, by the 78. But this 81 of Alice Hageman is
Hageman
going.
is sticking there, though.
Watch out for the 10 of Charlie McCarron. The moving chicane is currently in the middle of the pack as well. Cars are going to have to get around that 10 car to get up to the midfield. 99 seems to be holding up a few cars as well. All single file for now, as they're going to start fanning out here in 3 and 4 in the first lap.
Top 3 line is third at the moment. It is Rockwood leading, Hageman second, and the 31 car is third at the moment. Rockwood is beginning to pull away now, and let's take a moment here to reflect on just everything that has happened in this race, especially the last, 30 laps or so with those massive wrecks and the subsequent cautions and such, as we have another car, that is Kennedy getting into the wall further back.
Yeah, Kennedy got onto the wall. Nobody got into her, though. She's going to fall back. 42 coming in. 44, 62. Here's the 8 of Kate Summers, who came in that last caution. We'll see what she does. Obviously fell way back track position-wise. And yeah, here's the rest of the top. Here's the edge of the top 10. Let's head back to the front now. Lexi Rockwood holding up steady gap over the 81 of Alice Hageman, though. Not much occurring at the moment right now. No caution this time on the restart. At least early on, within a few laps. Still green. But the top 3 starting to break away, you can see there.
Yeah, definitely. They're breaking away from each other, and they've certainly broken away from the 54 car further back, who is just barely ahead of the 38 as well. So certainly the top 3 as Hageman gets into the wall. Could lose second here, does lose second, may lose more.
Take second, third as well. Fourth is gonna be. Ooh, yeah, she's gonna protect, and she's gonna be on the outside. Maybe try to get third place back from Kirkland there, who's got nobody on the inside to help her. And that's gonna push Kirkland back below the 38. That's gonna push her down to 5th for now. But watch out for Liz Roberts. Oh, she's hit the wall. Roberts into the wall. That's gonna open up space for the 96 and 04. 04 is not 45 is going to clear before the 04 goes. Big gap between the 22 and 9th and the 55 and 10th. There's kind of that second pack here developing.
You know, I certainly think that somebody should step in and sponsor a cliche of the race, and I think for this it would be driver in the wall.
Yeah.
Certainly a lot of wall contact.
Speaking of, here's another one. 81 of Hageman in the wall again. Well in the wall.
Second lap in a row now.
Yep. Ooh, watch out for Oswald. Oswald's gonna
This time losing
thought about
second
sending it
more.
3 wide for a second there. One's going to lose even more ground out to the 96, 45, and 04. That's going to drop her down to 8th place. Back up front here. 78 just cruising along, a second ahead of the field.
Yeah, you see that inside down in 3 and 4 is just not even that good for passing, because you can pass in 1 and 2 in the inside just fine.
Yeah.
Part of that because the outside driver does tend to get into the wall, but the inside is just rubbish for passing down in 3 and 4 generally.
Yeah.
And if you can get to the outside and actually carry that momentum, as you see the 22 doing here, you can at least maintain ground, maybe even get alongside the car on the outside.
Yeah, potentially. 81 seems to have stabilized her pace, though. Without now that she's dropped all the way down to 8th. We'll see what these drivers can do now that they've settled things out a little bit. Maybe try to chase down the 78, who's pulled away quite a bit. We'll see, though. 55 of Deborah Williams is now encroaching upon the edge of the top 10 here. That's pulled in Isabella Smith and Cassidy Jones with her. 26 of Robin Morales, I believe, running a lap down here in 22nd place. So both Project Horizon cars still running. Yeah. 62, 12, 35, a couple more of these lapped cars. Estrada and Summers, both of these cars I think came in last caution. Still hasn't really made that much ground. 59, who's had a bit of a mess of a day.
Yeah, let's actually talk about the 3 drivers who we mentioned top of the show for playoff contention. EC Buchanan there had to pit twice. First time for damage repair, second time for a tire down. And of course, multiple laps down at this point, and a little bit.
I think she's back to just being 1 down. Yeah, she's only 1 down now. She got one of her laps back, so she is now on. She's now only 1 down, and with lots of cars out, including the 64 of Moriyama. Although that was for an entirely different reason, other than the mess we had in the middle of the race. On points wise, the 59 looks good.
Yeah, talking about Moriyama, Buchanan certainly had those hurdles early in the race, is starting to overcome them now, but Moriyama did fall back at the start, and of course, out of the race now. Then you have Kennedy further ahead, who we spotted a little bit earlier, who is doing quite well in the points. Of course, started in the top 10 and isn't running there right now, but certainly has been in the top 5, top 10 at points throughout the day, and certainly looks to be in position to take that point spot should things end the way they are now, more or less.
Yeah. But of course, the elephant in the room is that basically nobody in the top 10 has a win yet. It's just the 38, really, I think.
422.
I said top 5.
You said top 10.
Anyways, as they're encroaching upon the... trying to lap the 99 down. Here's the other two cars that have a win already this season. The 4 and 22 in the top 10. Isabella Smith now. Oh, and the 55, I guess, is also right there. Kind of in this top 10-ish pack. But yeah, lots of cars at the front don't have a win yet. That's gonna really mess things up if on a playoff picture front, when it happens.
Oh yeah, that'll definitely throw a spanner in the works. Of course, if I remember correctly, the playoff format used in this series still has at least one driver without a win making it, but certainly if you do get another winning driver, that is, you do get another driver in the playoffs, another spot open, as I recall.
Yes, that is.
With that, talking about wins, go ahead.
I was gonna say that is the other wrench that could be thrown into this. The points lead is definitely up for grabs now as well. So the regular season championship might very well be something to look out for, and everyone with the 55 and 22 still here. No, that's definitely something that can happen. That's gonna be an interesting one. I don't know if any of the drivers that don't have a win is able to do that. Maybe Buchanan if things line up her way in this race, and she manages to sneak in a good result. But right now she'll have to fight the 55 and 22, who are both still in this race on the lead lap and right around the top 10. So it looks like it's gonna be down to those two, if I had to guess, because they both about within 10 points of the regular season points lead. Let's go back to where they tagged him in the wall again. Yeah, there's those two. They are Williams and Davenport are second and fourth in points respectively right now. And Jackie Kennedy's there too, actually. See what Kennedy is points, 42 points back, so she is going to need to, if not a win, at least a top 5, I think, to have a shot at that. Which there is lots of racing left to go, so kind of I'd say if, but at this point we may have thinned out the field enough to where we might have another green flag cycle. That, seeing the gaps right now, I think, bit of a wobble there, the 55 getting sent up to the high line. 12 is going to try to pass, but has to wrestle with the 26 of Robin Morales at the same time. But yeah, if we... Oh, 22 slow! 22 slow! Looks like a tire problem. 22's limping down to the apron. Didn't get anybody there, but that's gonna slow her pace up. And that's yet another wrench thrown into this regular season points battle. Cars are everywhere right now. Right, now that puts the focus on the 55. Who is now, I believe, still just outside the top 10. 81 somehow still in 8th after hitting the wall approximately 8 times. But definitely losing a lot of ground now, almost 7 seconds behind. But things are steady up front, as the 78 now holds a 1 1/4 second lead. Even the gap hasn't really changed that much between the top two. But Lexi Rockwood looking to put in a better performance here and try to gate crash her way into the playoffs. We mentioned the Project Horizon cars qualifying well in the pre-race, but we also noted that the usual mid to late race shenanigans typically take these cars out of contention. But the time has yet come for the 78 of Lexi Rockwood, who's led quite a few laps in this run, and if she does take this win, it wouldn't necessarily be undeserved. She's run well enough in these last few races, to the point where I'd call her a fringe race win contender as they approach the number 10 of Charlie McCarran, another lap car here.
Definitely, and with Rockwood out front, this might be a good time to segue into everybody's FanDuel
Mhm.
picks for the win. And who do you think is the strongest contender out there? Who do you think will take the checkered flag at the end of this?
Right now, in terms of pace, it is undeniable that the 78 is quick. Oh, 31 really hit the wall there. It is undeniable that the 78 of Lexi Rockwood is quite fast here. And I'd say right now, she is probably the favorite to take the win. If this race stays fairly calm as it is. Which, a bit of a 50-50 chance, considering we've taken out a lot of cars, but also, we'll probably somehow wreck with 10 cars left on this racetrack, so make your pick there as to whether or not this race will be a long run slog to the finish or a short run caution fest. But the 78 definitely has definitely made really good work of the undercut in the first run, and that really paid off because of the caution about halfway through that run. I think that's the thing that really helped the 78. If she wins, it's going to come down to that caution that started the flurry. She does have the fastest lap as well, so that'll be an extra bonus for her. 78's got a lot to navigate through, but at this point in time, I think the card she and the 78 team hold the cards to take home the win here. What about you, Madison?
Well, I definitely can't disagree with your elaboration on the 78 and why she is clearly the favorite to win here, but I think I want to look at the 96 real quick. Of course, we see that car back in 5th right now. In fact, has been making up spots, and that group generally has closed in a little bit and has fluctuated some in terms of the gap generally to our leader, but the 96 is the one who's been gaining the most during that time, so I think if Rockwood is to be dethroned from that lead and not win this race, I think the 96 could be the one to do it. And with that, we will take things back to the booth here, where we have our FanDuel fan picks up there as well.
Yeah, Matthew, you got your pick to win as things stand right now.
Well, the original pick I made pre-race is far back. However, I'm gonna go a bit left field and say, you know what? Let me go for the 54 of Michaela Kirkland.
Alright, I think I'm going to take the only driver in the top 5 right now with a win, Isabella Fitzmaurice. She won back in Las Vegas. She's had some good runs this season, hasn't been able to get that second win, but she is pretty much the last big hope for Kennedy, Moriyama, etc. to save them from a new winner knocking them out of playoff contention. I think I'm going to take Fitzmaurice here. She looks quite fast.
However, she'll need to close like 2.7 second gap now. Was 3 seconds, now it's 2.7.
2.3. Also, I want to point out here, we do have another pit cycle in the works here. There is another pit cycle. We haven't even hit the fuel window hasn't even opened yet, really. Well, I guess it has opened, but like just barely. Naomi Davenport had some kind of issue. Madison?
Right, so the 22 did have a tire go down, of course, as you can see back on the track, pretty much problem-free except for a much worse track position. And yeah, it was just that left rear down, and it was a slow leak actually. Unfortunately, worse news on the 82, of course, Zoe Quinton, the centerpiece of our most recent caution, being smashed into several times. She's been taken to hospital, and her condition is stable, but not very good. We'll have more on that later, and we hope that Quinton makes a decent recovery soon.
Well, we hope to hear good news. about Zoe Quinton's condition very soon. Lexi Rockwood, 3.5 seconds out front.
Make that 3.8. However, now she has the 22 of Davenport behind her. Probably gonna slow her up a bit there. Got by Fitzmaurice that last time by. And how about the 04 of ETV there? Was leading before that first caution and has now found her way back up to the third position past the 54.
Davenport's gone by Rockwood. The thing was here with Rockwood, I'm just gonna let her go. Just let her go. Don't let that affect your time too much.
A lot of the top 10 people getting by Callaway relatively fine there. However, this might be a bit of issue. Almost 4 wide.
And Schultz
there
is
goes
around.
Schultz and Estrada.
Caution. And there goes the fuel window. Oh, that'll bring everybody to pit road. Hey, so you know what I said about the mid-race report bringing us safety from cautions? Yeah, we went back to,
Oh. Wow.
we went back to a caution as soon as we got back to us here.
Well, this is gonna be interesting there. You could technically make it from here.
You can
This
make it from
being
here.
About 65 or so laps. However, crucially here, the 78 and 38 have to go an extra lap before making the pit cycle there, as the pace truck can catch them in time.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt them.
Wow. And that's a shame there for 78 in particular there. Was right up front for pretty much the entire race. And just like the two of Ramos, got have it derailed in quite an unfortunate way. Okay.
Well, she
Now-
could still come back. 78 and
that.
38 both, Yep, they're gonna come down pit road this time.
In terms of who came off pit road first, who was it?
Let's see, I did not see who it was. Looks like it was the 54 of Michaela Kirkland. Very interesting.
Yeah, and look who's in third there. 35 of Anderson.
Krista Anderson up to third. Oswell, Kennedy, Ableton Perez. This 25 got the free pass last yellow. She's into she's into what, 6th place, I believe now?
Might even be a top 5.
Yes, she's in 6th. Okay.
Wow. Well, anyways, time to see what caused our latest caution.
Check it out. Involved the 62. That's what I remember. They were all mixed
Yeah,
up. They went 4 wide in the corner, and you just can't really get away with that here.
Well, the problem was they were held up by the lap car, slower car there, McCarran, and yeah, they were 4 wide for a moment there.
Schultz
and
just got it. Schultz
Schultz
kind of lost it, got into Estrada there. They both hung on to it. Well, I don't think Estrada actually made any contact with anybody there.
What I do know is quite a few people are not gonna be happy with the 99 and 10 after the race. That's probably for sure.
Well, you're just trying to finish the race. Alrighty, well, Lexi Rockwood and Isabella Fitzmaurice weren't able to pick up the pace car in time, and so that means that they'll start in the back in 18th and 19th. So minus 17 for Rockwood and Fitzmaurice both. Very unfortunate. But that now elevates Michaela Kirkland to the top spot. As we'll take the green flag here. With 63 laps to go. Still plenty of time for somebody like Rockwood to get back to the front. The 78 is very clearly very fast. I would not be surprised if she's back up front by the end of this thing, but she'll have to work for it.
Well, here we go. Green flag on lap 158.
Oh, the 35 is slow.
Oh. Wow. Another
On the
tire
restart.
failure from the looks of
Oh, the
two tire
31.
failures. No, the 31. 31 of Ramirez flew up at the same time. Wow.
All right, well.
And just as I was about to say, in terms of people who haven't won the race, the one who's highest who has wins is a 25 now, and she just got back on the lead lap. Oh.
Oh, dear.
Oh.
Around goes Fitzmaurice with Oberman and Summers in the back of the field.
Man, second wreck with the 93. And
There's the
that's
caution.
now our
It's
fifth
back
caution. That did not take long at all.
And guess who gets back on the lead lap? It's Abby Buchanan.
Oh.
04 on the apron.
Wow. This race just continues to throw spanners in the works. I'm telling you. What about this race anymore?
Yeah, things are certainly happening. Madison.
Well, I have been busy today. So the 35 had a tire go down. It was another slow leak on the left front. Certainly, the tires maybe not up to the task on all these cars, something with pressures or something of that sort. And we've had two engine failures. There's the 04 and the 31, both of which are pretty fast cars. Of course, there was a mild oil leak for the 04. They might be able to repair that, but I'm not sure. And then the 31, it was a lot more substantial. They had their 7th and 8th cylinders completely blow up, and they are out of the race. Very unfortunate.
Well, everything is going on now.
Okay. Time to see what happens just a couple laps after the latest restart. Wow.
So it's back
Oberman's
here
been-
with Izzy Oberman. Oberman
She's
and
been going
Fitzmaurice.
for it a lot. And once
Summers.
again, Kate Summers got in the wall, forced it free
Ooh,
wide,
bounced off,
and
and Fitzmaurice just couldn't hang on to it.
there, Estrada was in the middle of that as well. And
Yeah, but she got through it. She stuck with it here. And you know what else? Abby Buchanan in a really good spot because she just got back on the lead lap now. The 59 is back on the lead lap. After all that, after everything there, the 59's now has a chance to make up some ground and keep it within sight distance of the cut line if we get a repeat winner. However, the highest repeat winner in the field right now is Cassidy Jones in 6th. 6th, 7th, and 8th all are drivers that have wins. 11th. 14th, 15th, 16th are all the drivers that have wins that are left in the field right now. Well, we're going to head back to green. Kirkland still leads. For Michaela Kirkland, she kind of just hopped into this car. This is only her 5th start in this car. After Brenda Davis was suspended and subsequently released from this car, Kirkland took over, finished 2nd at Echo Energy National Speedway in just her 2nd race. Been pretty solid throughout. It would be an even bigger thing if Michaela Kirkland were to go to victory lane.
that's a big if there. She'll still need to survive the next 57 laps or so in order to get her first win in only, you said, 5th career start. That's gonna be an impressive feat there. Anyways, green flag.
Green flag is out, and the 54 got a really good jump. Everybody stays in line off so far. In this opening cycle after the restart, now we'll see them jump out here in turn 4. Very few cars trying to make up ground. Lexi Rockwood is up to 12th now. See Jackie Kennedy trying to hold off Cassidy Jones. Jones up to the outside, but Jones gets in the fence. They'll all do their best to avoid. Roberts is caught back up to Kirkland.
And Oswald's not too far behind in 3rd. Wilson as well in the 60. Pretty close if the 3 of them start to scrape the wall a bit there. And like you said, the 12 of Kennedy in the she might be in the pretty good spot if she does get a win there. However, the 25 Perez, repeat winner, won twice already, but still about 1.5 seconds from catching up to the 54 there.
Lexi Rockwood's gotten back up to 10th.
We saw Lexi Rockwood have a good car throughout the race, so we'll need to see how far she can catch up to the rest of the field.
Yeah, now she's kind of getting freight trained on the outside, though. Kirkland's still holding on. Roberts pressuring. Got the 45 kind of pushing. Kennedy was up in the wall. That lets Ableton Perez up into the 5th position now. This is Kathy Ableton Perez's home track. She's from Spartanburg, South Carolina. Not too far from here. Meanwhile, Rockwood slipped back to 13th again.
Kirkland's been holding up pressure pretty well, all things considered, considering how close to 45 of Liz Roberts has been behind her so far. But we'll need to see if the 99 of Callaway and the 10 of McCarran will hold up the rest of this field.
They will probably have some kind of say in what goes on. And the 04 as well, I think, will have a bit of something to do with it as well, considering the 04 has had a bit of an engine issue as well.
The 99 is now the next car directly in front of our leaders there. So this is going to be another crucial factor to see who could probably win this race. Probably could be a chance for Oswell, even Jennifer Wilson, even Perez in the 25 if she's lucky enough.
I don't think this 25 is out of it by any means. I think she's definitely got a good chance at this. Deborah Williams fighting with Vinnie Schultz. There's another driver who got the free pass at one point today. Deborah Williams. Isabella Smith is up here. Seeing Michaela Kirkland still trying to hang on, but now they're catching a lapper. Oh, the 54's in the wall.
Oh, this is going to be crucial there. They
She
by
got through.
cleanly, but they're going to be... Oh, 45's going to get stuck on the bottom there behind the 54, so...
Nah, she's not. She's fine. She's good. And we got 5 cars all right here under a second.
Wow. This is going to be an entertaining last half of the race there. And there goes a 12 into the wall. So the 12's probably gonna be out of the lead pack.
Keep in mind, there's only one driver in this top 5 that has a win already. It's Kathy Ableton Perez in the 25. And this track, very
Still
track position reliant.
Still gonna need quite a bit to happen if she does want to get by for what would be her 3rd win of the season. Trying the outside lane by Jennifer Williams doesn't look like it's going to work there. Stays in 5th.
She's not close enough
now.
to make it stick right now.
Right now it's basically between the 54 and 45.
Yeah, who thought the 54 would be up here? Actually, you did. Kind of forgot that. Rockwood's going to try and take advantage here of some spots. Meanwhile, Roberts kind of losing ground a little bit. Trying to hold Oswell behind her now.
Oh, and I think the 10's they're gonna catch up to the 10 and the 04 very soon.
Yes, they are.
So that's 2 more lap cars that they'll need to pass.
Roberts trying to hold off Oswell now. If you're Lexi Rockwood, you're trying your best to just get up there. Try and make a battle happen here for the lead.
Here comes the 54. Gonna get held up a bit by ETV. Gotta play right in the factor of the 45. Or does it? Here
Not really.
goes. Need to be careful here. Getting by the 10. Looks like they're going to be clear for now. But the 04 is holding up the 60 and 25 for quite a bit.
Here comes Oswell to the top side on Roberts. Going for second. 96 car gets the spot.
Pretty much the top 5 still. Might be. Now it's the 96. Getting by cleanly there, but third through 5th is having quite a bit of trouble getting by the 10. Wilson running the top lane a bit. There. Now the 45 is going to get by. Same
45
with
is
the
going to get to the bottom.
25.
25 is going to get to the bottom. So she'll get clear of the 10. So Ableton Perez does gain a position up to 4th. Madison, you got a report on Robin Morales.
Right, yes. On piston number 3, inside that number 26 engine, the piston rings actually broke. So, unfortunately, that is day completely done for the 26 car.
Unfortunate end for Morales, who had a pretty solid run going, but unfortunately not going to see it to the end. Meanwhile, there's a lot of things going on over here. Ableton Perez closing up on the 45. Oswell's closed up on Kirkland. Kind of 2-car pairs right now. Kind of looks like Daytona in the early 2010s the way they're racing right now. Back here, there's Williams and Estrada. Estrada's going to get the advantage on that, though. Williams might have gotten it if there wasn't the 04, who's down a cylinder, in the way.
Almost a bit of free wide there. There goes Kennedy finally getting by the 04.
No, she's not gone by. In fact, that's going to get the
Jeez.
42, although the 42's a lap down. But now she might get Freight Train on the high side. You may notice here, but the 04 is actually fairly strong in the corners. She's just very slow on the straightaways.
Looks like the 96 of Oswell lost a bit of ground there on the 54
Yeah.
of Kirkland there.
Catching the 99 again. It's going to slow them up
That's a
fair
bad way
bit.
to catch up to 99
Here comes
there.
Oswell.
And that is exactly what they need. Here comes Oswell.
Here comes the
Almost.
25.
Oh,
They all got checked up. Everybody got checked up.
oh, and the 54 is flying away.
And now Ableton Perez will get
now
to
up
third.
This could be a good race here for Perez to get her third win. Looks like they're all 78
Rockwood's
in
in
the
the wall.
wall.
I think Rockwood's kind of out of it now.
Looks like we still have another car ahead.
59 of Abby Buchanan. Buchanan is really... Now that is big because Buchanan can play into the playoff mix here. Buchanan wants to see the 54 or neither the 54 or 96 win. She wants the 25 to win. Jackie Kennedy right now, biggest, you're hearing her cheering for the 25 because that's her best chance to make the playoffs. You can't really rely on a win at Pensacola.
Well, there's still 30 laps for the 25 to catch up and pass both the 96 and 54. And if anything, she'll need to hope that the 10 and the 04 99 hold up the 54 and 96 enough for the 25 to stay in contention.
Yeah, but that 59 could also be the stone that holds them up. 30 laps to go right now.
Saying that the 59 doesn't look like too slow.
She's not terribly
sure.
slow.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's up with the 59's pace.
Oswald's closing up.
Oswald clone up. Maybe trying to use the top lane for a second there, but not gonna be close enough.
She's gonna use it again right now.
Doesn't look like.
Just kind of trying to keep the pace. Oswald's there. And Liz Roberts is kind of in here too. Liz Roberts is under a second now.
Roberts could still win this potentially there.
Ableton Perez on the 25 now all over the 96, who's all over the 40, who's all over the 54. The 45 kind of trailing these cars. It's going to come down to the wire here. The 8 car of Kate Summers down pit road.
I don't think that's planned strategy there.
No, I don't think so. No, Roberts has gotten back in here. Roberts is up here with all these cars.
It's just like early in the race. They can't get by one of the... Not sure if the 54 has the faster car. Looks like it might be the 25, maybe? We'll see. But I think the 25 might have the faster car.
I'm not sure who has the fastest car right now, but I know it's not the 54. But that may not matter, because the 54 can just kind of defend via track position. That clean air just really helps when you're out front like she is. Oswald using the top side to close up.
We're 24 to go. I can't tell if the 96 is trying to make up a run. We'll see if she uses the top lane now. No.
No, but look who is. It's Liz Roberts in the 45. Roberts won't be able to get there on the 25, but she'll try to get to the inside now.
No, she had to left.
She backed out of it.
Hey, we're edging a bit closer and closer to the back end of the 59 of Buchanan.
The 8 car, I think, has fresh tires. The 59's about on the same pace as these cars.
59's not gonna be the main
I don't
factor. It's
think
probably
the
gonna be the
59
99. 99 and the 10 probably are.
The 45 goes to the outside on Ableton Perez. Oh, just nicked the wall, but she's still there. .45's got the spot. So Liz Roberts is up to third. So we've reached 20 laps to go. Meanwhile, the further back you move in the field, the more desperate it's looking for Jackie Kennedy. Sitting in 10th. She's running well. The problem is, it's not what she wants to see up front.
And with the way they're racing for a second, it might be Kirkland's race to lose.
Roberts held pretty well with Oswell on the bottom, but couldn't hang on to it. If anything's going to change this, it might end up being a caution that would be what changes this. Michaela Kirkland out front by about a second.
Well, looks like they're catching up to the 10 and 99 about now.
They're catching the 99, that's for sure. That will be interesting because the 99 may have the greatest say in who wins this race. Kirkland's starting to pull away.
Under 16 to go. Oswald has closed the gap up slightly, but
well,
it's
her
gonna
biggest
be
chance
down
is going to be
the-
here.
Yeah, see how long the 99 holds up to 54.
Not very long. 54 is just going to go straight by. And the 96 has actually lost second. Roberts has taken it away. Ableton Perez is up to third.
And the gap went up to 1.5 seconds.
Well, yes, because we had cars passing each other, so that would make sense.
Well, second and third, I want to say looks like they're gonna get by cleanly,
They will.
and they do.
They gained a lot.
Oh wow, they closed in quite a bit there. 0.85.
And there's more lappers in the way here. May see the 04 and 10 have something to say about how this race ends. I think Oswell's car is just kind of starting to fall off here.
Yeah, it's gonna be down from 4 cars now to 3.
45 closed up again. Down to 0.6.
They have 3 lap cars ahead of them, so if these lap cars go side by side, that can make things really hectic.
'59's gonna try and get past the 10 here. She'll do it. 10 car is now in the fence in front of them, so. Oh, look at that. Roberts is there. 45 all over the back bumper of the 54. And they're catching the 10 at a very, very inopportune spot.
Oh, really had to slow it down there.
54 got on the apron a little bit to try and slow up the 45, but that may not help either party here. 45 jumps
45's
high.
gonna get stuck on the top.
Kirkland's kind of
get
betting
held
that Kirkland was betting on the 45 getting held up, but the 45 actually ended up benefiting. She takes the lead away. Liz Roberts now out front. Ableton Perez up to second. She goes to the outside. She may have a look for the lead here as we're at our windows 11 to go. To the outside goes the 25. And Roberts won't even lead the lap. It's Ableton Perez, but now she's caught the lap car.
Wow. You can just see how fast things change here. And now Perez trying to get by McCarron gets held up a bit there. We still have 10 coming to 9 laps to go. 25 trying to use the top lane but can't get by. Still,
She'll jump to
any
the
of
bottom
these
now.
races there, and Perez gets by. Roberts tries to get by,
Think she'll do it.
and looks like she does. Can Kirkland get by?
Oh no, McCarron
No,
got a pretty good run up the
using
top.
lane. And now Perez is trying to get by ETV up ahead. And now 54 trying to get by for the second position.
The 10 is being a thorn in their side. The 10 has found some kind of pace. Kirkland fighting Roberts for second, and that's letting the 25 get away. And Jackie Kennedy is all cheering for this because that's getting her back into that chase for the playoff spot. It looked hopeless for the 12 and the 59. Now it looks like they'll fight another week.
Well, there is still at least one more lap car to deal with there in the form of this 04. If the 25 gets by cleanly, it will probably be smooth sailing from here.
We may have to start calling Kathy Ableton Perez the closer. Because every time she shows up, it's always at the very end. She won Memphis on a last lap pass photo finish. She won, even though she led the most laps in Chicagoland, she only took the lead in the final 70 laps. And here, she didn't show up at the front until 10 laps to go. She is making the most of it, but
She's struggling to get past the 04. That's going to allow Roberts to close up.
Roberts is closing just a bit, but Ableton Perez will finally clear. Roberts is going to have to be on her horse here to get to that 25.
And now Oswald got by Kirkland for the third position. But it might be too little too late there for that 96.
5 laps to go. And the South Carolinian out front. Kathy Ableton Perez looking for her 3rd win of the season.
Wow. I just can't imagine how much went through for the race to go through, and this is an absolute cinema race there. Basically from start to finish there. And
Roberts is starting to lose touch with the 25. I think the 25 may have this, assuming she doesn't have some sort of issue here at the end.
oh, you probably don't want to jinx her there. 3 laps to go for the 25 of Perez.
Don't worry, because I mentioned having an issue, now she won't have it.
Well, anyways,
It's the anti-jinx.
Okay. Alright then. 1.2 seconds. 1.2 seconds is the gap. Last time by between Perez and the 45. 2 laps to go. In a chaotic Southern 500.
Well, it is not the Southern 500. Oh, the 25's in the wall! There's the issue!
Oh,
45's closing. She's pretty close. Roberts is going to
Oh,
have to
boy,
charge it up here on this last lap. White
this is
flag.
gonna come down to the wire. Just as I thought it was gonna be over, white flag, one more lap to go. Can Roberts have a final charge?
She is there on Ableton Perez. Got to make the momentum stick. She held with her on out of 2.
Oh, it doesn't
She'd
look
have to
like
go
it.
to the top side, and I don't think she's going to do it. She can't do it. And it's Ableton Perez, win number 3, and it comes at her home track. Kathy Ableton Perez wins in Darlington.
Wow. What an exciting finish there. And
Darlington,
thank goodness there for Kennedy's sake there. She gets 10th, and she's going to be safe for at least one more week.
Kennedy's alive for another week. Buchanan is alive for another week. And Moriyama will very likely be alive for another week as well. Well, after 220 laps, it still came down to the wire. What did you think of that one?
Wow. That basically anything that could have happened in that race did happen.
Very much a very exciting race, and, well, Darlington never disappoints. That's kind of how I view it. Kathy Ableton Perez takes the win in a very, very impressive performance. She just came up at the end. I think she only led about the last 10 laps or so, but that's enough. It doesn't matter how many laps you lead. It only matters if you lead the last one, and Ableton Perez able to do it. Jackie Kennedy stays alive in the playoff race. Abby Buchanan and Mayumi Moriyama will be alive as well. I think those will be the only 3 that will be able to make it on points. But what a day here from Darlington. And what do you think we're gonna see next week at the Pensacola Super Speedway?
It's a super speedway. That's all you'll need to know.
That's a fair point. A Super Speedway that will set up the end of the regular season into the playoffs, and we will have our playoff field set at maximum. I believe it would be 20. I'm not sure. We'll have to get the points settled out, but we will have an update on what the maximum playoff field would be. With that being said, we're going to send you back to the studio with Rasha and Madison for the FanDuel post-race report. What do you two got for us down there?
Well,
And with that, back to the studio, and there is a lot to talk about. Exciting finish, a number of considerable crashes, a lot of retirements from mechanical issues, far more than I expected, even for Darlington. What do you think about all this, Rashi? There's a lot to talk about.
well, I think the main story to talk about here is going to be the fact that we're going to have to keep an eye on the points battle in Pensacola, of all places. 1 spot left on points, potentially. A complete wild card of a racetrack coming up. It's gonna be something, all right. I don't know what to expect in the upcoming race, but it is most definitely going to be a race that we're gonna have to watch very closely. Assuming our playoff our playoff contending drivers don't all get taken out in one wreck. It is Pensacola after all.
Yeah, definitely. It would be a shame if that happened, but I would imagine it will be a lot of fun for any fans watching Pensacola at home, but not fun in the slightest if you're the crew chief, if you're the spotter. You have both a sense of fun and dread if you're a driver, of course. There's just a lot to watch out for at a track like Pensacola. There's just predictability. Why even bother? There is none.
What is predictability at a racetrack like Pensacola? That's not going to be a that is not that is not valid. That is not a thing in Pensacola.
Yeah, it's foolishness, really.
Man, that's just gonna make this regular season finale all the more, I guess, of a must watch. That's the way I'd put it. It is we're gonna have a complete we're gonna have a complete banger of a race, I think.
Yeah, cancel your weekend plans. Go and watch the race. I always say something super important, then just keep your weekend plans, but you know what I mean.
And with that,
Right then, what about all the mechanical problems? Because there are a lot of them
lots of
today. What do you think
there was
about
quite a few mechanical problems. That's a little bit surprising, given that this isn't the what do you call it? This isn't the endurance race. Really, I mean, compared to the Cup race that we'll be having, that's the Southern 500. That is going to be the slog. That's the race where I'd expect mechanical problems to really show up. We had a lot early on as well. Like, at least around the halfway point, lots of cars started dropping off there. That was after we took out
We did.
a lot of cars in various wrecks and bits and bobs as well. Jackie,
Definitely, and in as much as certainly mechanical problems goes, you'd think that with the weather it wouldn't be that bad because 73 degrees, no wind, that's almost perfect weather. I mean, in Iowa there is certainly a lot more humidity and heat, so that would explain some of the problems there. But no such excuses for Darlington, really.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, let's see. If you look at the points, if you look at it from a points perspective as well, we mentioned the zero of Hirayoko dropping out early. That's thrown a wrench into things for the regular season championship. That'll give the season that'll I'm pretty sure give the lead of the points to one Deborah Williams, who I think was the only car in that, say, top 5 in points that had a relatively stress-free race compared to everyone else. Jackie Kennedy technically somehow has a chance, but you'd have to score maximum points. That would be pull fastest lap, lead all laps, and win the race. Lead most laps and win. Yeah. To take the regular season championship there. So, in effect, yes, that means that a new winner would take Kennedy out of the playoffs because she wouldn't be able to win the regular season championship without the win. And I think that, but crucially, it also gives Kennedy a good cushion over the other two drivers that are still theoretically within the points battle. That would be Moriyama and Buchanan. I think both of them are 23 points behind, tied now. So if Kennedy has problems early on, Moriyama and Buchanan might be able to point their way through the field as well. That's something to look out for as well. And again, it's Pensacola. Anything can really happen here. So that's it's gonna be complete mayhem, I think. The fact that we're gonna have to keep an eye on a points battle while also looking at the leader of the race, while it's Pensacola and everyone's moving up and down the pack moving up and down the pack, losing 10 positions, losing or gaining 10 positions every lap or so. I'm not sure what we're gonna do in that race. It's probably just going to be a lot of noise.
Yeah, and a lot of stress too for whoever's in the booth for that race, which of course will be you, will be Echo, and then whoever we've got for the studio for pit reporters. It's gonna be a lot for you guys to handle, and I'm both very happy and very sorry for you guys.
Yeah, I wouldn't really consider myself a what do you call it? A plate race commentators to be honest. I'm not sure if I do any well commentating a plate race. I'm not that great at those. I think my style doesn't really what do you call it? It doesn't really lend itself well to that because eventually my train of thought just disappears and I just start screaming about shit. I start screaming about stuff because like that just happens all the time. Like especially with all the action that happens at a plate track. We'll see though. I don't think I'm scheduled to do that race, but I'll be in the studio as usual.
Yeah, well, I hope you enjoy it. Certainly your style a bit more suited to maybe the AWSCO Sports Car Series, but certainly for Pensacola, you will be in the studio, so have fun with that. Any further thoughts you have on this thriller
last
here
thought?
at Darlington?
Yeah, I mean, my last bit here is just going to be taking a look at that regular season points again. With top 10, still fairly close though, 65 points now. So the last two cars in the top 10 are the 64 and what do you call it, the 59 who are tied, 60 who are tied right there. So the top 10 in points are still very close, and we see that we see the impact of missing a race there with the 14 of Edelstein. Edelstein dropped down to I think 14th, dropped a few positions when I think she was in 10th heading into this race, and that was a matter of a provisional battle between the 42 and 14. Yeah, Edelstein dropped to 13th. Well, Freya von Lundquist maintained 9th place, so that's important as well. We'll see what happens. Yeah, but yeah, lots to talk about. Of course, tomorrow as well, we have the Southern 500. The Cup Series is racing here, and that's going to be even. That's going to be a long race. I mean, a 500-mile race at Darlington, at a fairly slow oval like Darlington, that's typically, I believe, the longest race in any kind of stock car season. I'd say, I would believe it is the longest by time, I should say, given how slow the racetrack is compared to any other track that has a 500-mile. Though we do have a 600-mile race at Talladega. That might not beat it. That won't beat it in terms of. I'd hope that race doesn't beat it in terms of length.
I would hope not too, but yeah, that would probably be just one car running at the end. But point being, yeah, there are longer stock car racing events out there in terms of
By distance, yes.
technically time and distance, but at Darlington, it is just so long. Like,
Yeah.
you really, really, really feel it, and you will feel it tomorrow. And it's that way for the drivers too.
Drivers
Like,
are absolutely.
Maybe at
yeah.
the Coca-Cola 600, for instance, yeah, it's a long race, but it doesn't feel like horribly long. This other 500 just feels like it drags
It's
on and
more.
on and
Yeah,
on.
I think
It
the
is
racetrack.
thrilling the whole
The
time.
nature of the racetrack is more physical as well. It definitely is more grueling
It is.
physically to drive Darlington than it is to drive Charlotte. And the extra 100 miles of Charlotte adds to it, but also 500 miles at Darlington is a real slog for these drivers. It's going to be a real test for every one of those Cup Series drivers. And with that, any final thoughts before we head it back to the booth? Madison.
Well, we have discussed a lot about the playoff outcomes of this race, and as much as how the cut line looks and sort of what sort of implications a new winner would have or not, just that sort of thing. And we talked about all the craziness of this race and what to look for tomorrow. So I think we're good to send it back to the booth.
Yeah, and congratulations to Kathy Ableton Perez. Another good win coming from an excellent late race run. It's becoming a specialty as of late. Definitely with her last two wins coming after a combined probably less than 15 laps led. I would say so. Maybe less than 10. Probably not. Probably like, I think it's about 12 or so. She led 1 lap at Memphis and 9 laps maybe at Darlington. Yeah, just around 10 to 11 laps probably. That's definitely something. That's definitely something special in that car in these late races in these late parts of a race. So yeah, great run. Congratulations to her, and lots of excitement coming up with that regular season finale in both series, and of course the Southern 500 coming up. Thank you for being with us here in the studio for the post-race show. I've been Rasha, and alongside Madison. Thank you for watching here. We'll send things back with Echo to close out the broadcast for everyone.
Yeah, and a very, very fun race here from Darlington, as is usual in the Gatorade 300. Next week it'll be next week we'll be at Pensacola, but tomorrow the Southern 500 and the Cup Series, 500 miles, 367 laps here from Darlington. It will be a very fun show. On behalf of Matthew, Rasha, and Madison, and everyone, please give your well wishes to Ellie. I'm Echo. Thank you so much for watching tonight. I will see you all next time. See ya!